Alright, so we did see how the scope works. Let's just go through some other options that we have in DHCP server. So when I click on address pool, let me just explain that what this is. The address pool is basically the pool of addresses that you create. So as you can see that this is the pool of address from 10 to 250, and then we have exclusion from 10 and 11. So this basically shows you all those in there. And then when you click on address lease, and let me refresh that, you basically see all the clients that have already obtained their IP addresses from this scope. And you can see we have one which is 1.12, and then if you double click on it, or let me quickly expand this. So if you see here client IP address, that is the name. The expiration for the lease is this date, this time, and then you have like unique ID for it. And the NAP network access protection is full access, so there's no policies or nothing applied. If I click on reservation, reservation is where when you have routers, when you have servers, when you have printers, and you do not want those IP addresses to conflict with the range. So you can always create new reservation and say, for example, servers. I have servers that is basically starting from 50, and then, or basically, the server IP address is 50 since I cannot choose a range here, and I can put the MAC address of the server. So if you have a server that has like a MAC address of um, like anything that you got, you can simply put it in here. How do you get the MAC address of a computer? If you go to CMD or you go to command prompt, you basically, when you type ipconfig/all, it will tell you the MAC address there. So you can see this is my Ethernet MAC address, and then what I can do is I can simply come here and then paste it. If that's how you do it. So when you press yes, the unique identifier you have entered maybe not correct. You want to use this identifier anyway. Um, it's just telling me it's not correct. Let me see if it's correct or not. It is correct, so I will say yes, close. So I have now a reservation created for a server, and 50 IP address will not be assigned to anyone. In the scope options, if you remember, we applied DNS servers and then domain name is kd.local. If I right click here, click on configure options, I can actually put more options in here. If you have a router, you can put the router IP address. For example, 10.1.1.1, press add. Now it will be part of the IP address. You can come here and then actually put more and more settings in here depending on like what things you are actually using. Once you press apply, now it is going to be part of the um, IP address configuration. Policies is something where you can create different policies. This actually allows you to configure settings like IP address, DHCP options, and create client-based options or policies based on different versions. When there's, for example, if in your network you have a vendor HP and you want to actually block certain HP computers, you can basically create a policy and then apply this policy so that once it detects it, it will not actually apply or provide IP address to those clients. It's like if else condition that you are applying. Server option is same thing that we created here. So if I click here, you can basically put this in here, and what it will do is it will apply this for the entire scopes that you have in this IP version 4. So if you have multiple scopes, instead going here and adding one by one, you just add here and it will apply it for all the scopes. Same thing for the policies. You have policies here which you're applying for one scope, but if you want to apply for all scopes, the policy that you're applying needs to be applied for all scopes. You can use this one instead of going one by one and creating that. Allow and deny is just simply filtering. So if I want to actually filter a computer from getting like IP address, and they will not receive IP address from DHCP services, you can just put them here, and it will uh, simply deny that computer, and they will not get IP address. When you click IP version 6, you can see I have new scope option, same, press next. So if I press test here, and then you have prefix 64 like subnet mask that you're actually applying, and then if I put 32 here, press next, uh, it's invalid because, sorry, I had to put the IP address here. So I have, if I put an IP address here, 1A, or this link local IP address, and then press next, and then you can see that starting IP and then ending IP. So you can put the start IP and then put the end IP, and what it will do is it will basically provide those IP address ranges to all your machines that you have. So I'll cancel this because we are not going to use IP version 6, but basically if you understand the IP addressing for IPv6, you can apply all those IP addresses.